Hey friends, it's Liz, the official craft nerd, and today I've got some shabby chic summer ideas coming at you. So for my first project, I am using this sign that I got from Dollar Tree. This is from last summer, and I'm basically just going to remove those decals and the string off of this sign. I am not worrying about the paper because I'm just flipping this bad boy over and I'm going to give it a coat of paint. I, of course, am using my favorite, my Waverly chalk paint in plaster, and giving this basically a good 2 coats to cover this sign entirely. So I like to heat up my drying process with my heat gun. I will list the link for this down below in the description box. If you guys don't already know, I am an Amazon affiliate, so I do like to list the links to different tools and items that I like to use in my DIYing projects and life and all of that. So you can check that out below. Now, what I'm going to do here is basically just kind of outline my mason jar glass. Now you do see there are some decal stencils that are kind of sitting in the middle. My first idea was I made these decals and I was going to stencil it, which I did. And I used my antique wax for that. But as you can tell, it bled too much. I really didn't like it. I thought the lettering was too small. So I do decide to cover that up here in a minute. But I decided after I did the little outlines and distressed it a little bit, I am taking my sanding block and I do kind of tone it down by just giving a good sanding. So I decided that I was going to jazz up the top part of my mason jar glass, just adding some twine, and I wrap it around quite a few times. Just to kind of cover a lot of that dead space that's on the top of the sign. Then I decided after that I wanted to continue on adding some more detail. So I'm using some of this really pretty off-white lace ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby on sale. And I'm just putting a strip of that ribbon across the top and gluing it towards the back. So I'm also going to take some of this Dusty Rose, real thin, lacy ribbon. I love this ribbon. It is beautiful. And I'm just going to make a simple bow. This is just like you're tying your shoes. And I wanted to add this to my top of my sign as well. So here I am Mod Podging a piece of this tissue paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. I thought this paper was absolutely beautiful, and it definitely was going to work with the theme and style of this type of shabby chic summer vibe that I had going on. And it just worked out perfectly. Now, of course, I'm going to put a coat over top of this, and again, I'm not worried about it too much if it's wrinkled. I mean, you can definitely smooth this out. But I like the texture. I liked how it adds a little bit of character. And of course, you guys, I'm going to distress it. I mean, I do that to a lot of my projects. But in this case, I really went a little heavy on it just because I wanted to hide the area that I did not like underneath. And I just thought it worked out pretty good. So you'll have to tell me what you guys think. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea or sweet tea, but I love this style, and this is just what I intend to put up in my home. So I go for it, you guys. So finishing it off, I just wanted to add a little bit more detail, and I loved that ribbon so much that I'm just adding little scrap pieces together just like so. And then I'm taking this beautiful dusty rose paper flower that I also got from Hobby Lobby and placed it right in the middle. I distressed it a little bit more with my sanding block there. And again, you can see where it kind of tore up that tissue paper. And you know what? I am okay with it. I just basically hit it again with my antique wax, dirtied up just a little bit, and I loved how it looked. So this is the final piece, you guys. Again, I appreciate all your comments, so you can definitely tell me what you think about this one down below, but I really, really liked it. This video is a special collab with two of my buddies, Theresa B at Theresa B DIY and with Jamie at Simpleroots Simpleliving. You need to check out their pages, you guys, if you don't already follow them. Theresa B is funny, she is super sweet, and she makes some amazing crafts, you guys. And of course, Jamie, she is a bless your heart type girl. She is so sweet, and her projects are definitely worth taking a look at. You guys, if you like farmhouse, boho, any of those styles, both of these ladies are absolutely amazing, and you will not regret checking them out. Okay guys, so for my second project, this is one I will admit I almost didn't put in the video, but my daughter absolutely loved it. And you know what, when my daughter tells me she loves something I do, it definitely means a whole new thing for me. So I kept on with it, and I'm very proud that I did. So I'm basically taking a couple of these Easter signs. I do think these were the ones that came out this year with those busted up googly eyes. I had to take those off there. Basically, I'm just going to cut all that stuff off, and this is going to be the back of my sign, so don't worry about, you know, the paper ripping or any of that. I always like to take just some jumbo popsicle sticks to use to secure the back of my sign. But as I'm telling you this, I'm realizing, yeah, we're not going to show that part just yet. We're going to show one of these wood truck signs that I got from Dollar Tree. I was very fortunate to find some of these because this kind of stuff I hardly ever can find at any of my stores. So, you know, when you guys tell me that you have trouble finding things at your Dollar Trees, y'all, I understand. The struggle is real. I'm down here in Texas, and you would think we would have a lot, but we don't. So, oh, real quick, y'all, please make sure that if you're new here, that if you like what you see, you press that like button below, hit subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you are notified every time I upload new content. And back to live, back to reality. Y'all remember that song? Anyway, I will never do that again. I am so sorry. So what I'm doing here is, of course, like I said before, removing the pieces off of that truck. And now here I go. This is where I'm going to glue all of my popsicle sticks down to secure the back of my sign. I ran out of the big jumbo ones, so I'm using some of the regular size ones that you can get from Dollar Tree. So here's a quick tip. If you don't have any wood filler or any of that caulking material, you can just simply use hot glue to fill in those holes, and it works just as well as the other stuff. So I'm just going to give my sign a couple of coats of the Waverly chalk paint and plaster, because you guys know I love this color. I can't get over it, y'all. I do. I love it. I love it. So now I'm going to use this napkin that I did pick up from the Dollar Tree. And, you know, I love the blue colors and the yellow in there. I definitely feel those are pretty summer-like colors and still keeping with the theme that I'm going for my Shabby Chic summer. So I'm just ripping off these corners, and I'm going to simply decoupage them on all four corners of my sign. I also decided to add just a little bit more of the paper on the ends of my sign as well. And then once I am done with that, I'm moving on to my truck. Now I am going to use this beautiful color. This is also a Plaid product. It's by Folk Art. It's called Vintage Tea Rose. Y'all, this color is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can't get enough of it. So I really wanted to make this truck a different color truck than the normal red truck, y'all. I just had to. So I went ahead, painted the base, and then for the tire wells, and I darkened those up a little bit, and then of course I painted the wheels black, and also the fencing that goes along the tail bed. Once it's all painted, I go ahead and glue everything back together. That's one of the things I really liked about this truck sign, was that it was so easy to take apart, so that way you can paint those pieces separately like that, and it does make a whole lot of difference. So I definitely loved that. I'm just fixing my wheel there because obviously it looked a little wonky. But once I was done, I went ahead and started just to add a little bit of detail, a little bit of shading. I'd love to give these very flat pieces some more dimension, and this is the easiest way to do it, is just adding little shade lines. And of course I'm going to take my sanding block and just sand it down a little bit so it's not so bold, and it does look a little bit worn and shabby. So this part is definitely optional. I just decided I wanted to have a more shiplap type look with my sign. So I just took what I had on hand, which was a pen. Probably not the best options. You know, you might want to use that pencil for this. But I just went ahead and made lines across the whole sign itself. I do go over it with my sanding block, just again to tone it down so it's not so obvious that I drew on it with pen. But you can do it however you guys like. You can use pencil, you can actually put paint on there, whatever y'all want to do. Then of course I'm just going to distress the edges a little bit, but when I do it this time, I'm actually going to wipe it off right away. And for this, it just kind of gives it that distressed look without being too heavy with the distressing, if that makes sense. And of course I want it all the way across. I want it to kind of reflect wood, you know, actually make it look like some wood. But again, this is absolutely something that is up to you if you decide to do it. You guys know, I love to distress things, and you know, I'm trying to, you know, come up with more projects that may not have as much, but you know, in all honesty, I'm staying true to who I am, and this is definitely what I love to do. So once that sign is done and it looks the way that I want it, I am just going to glue my truck right down in the center, just like so. So I recently purchased these wood flowers. Now they're from a company called Sola flowers. I can leave their link down below. I am not a partner with them or anything. I just absolutely love these flowers. I've seen other crafters use them, and I had to order my own. And they are absolutely beautiful. These are just the mini flowers. They come in raw, or you can actually get them ordered dyed and everything. So, but these are just, I could not wait to really start using them. And I just thought, for my summery type truck, I was just going to fill it up with these beautiful flowers, and I think it looks awesome. You have to tell me what you guys think about this truck. So I decided I wanted the sign to say something. This could have been a case of less equals more, but I just went with it, y'all. And I decided I was just going to write out "Welcome Summer," and, you know, maybe have a little heart or whatever. But I wanted to have it spelled out using twine. Now, I've seen a lot of people do this technique. I know that Blondie Next Door has done some projects with this, and I'm sure there's been others, but I figured, you know what, I was going to give it a shot. I was going to try to see how how much I could challenge myself to spell all of these letters out. But in the end, I think it actually turned out pretty good. So I am going to add a scrappy bow to the corner of this sign. And I know a lot of you have asked me for a bow tutorial. I will hopefully be able to put one together here soon. But I'm not a master at making bows. I've seen others do it. I'm just kind of learning myself. And these are just what work for me. So scrappy bows are easy. They basically are just strips of all different types of material. And then you just kind of lay them out like this. You know, you just try to kind of make them all go in opposite directions and then continue on the pattern, just switching it up every layer that you do. Once it's all put together, and I'm leaving this all in here for you to see, just because I usually speed right through my bows and stuff like that. But I wanted you guys to kind of see this and how it progresses. And again, it's super simple. It's just one layer after the next. And then I take a piece of twine and I'm going to use that to wrap around the middle of my bow. And you kind of just pinch it together in the middle. And I'm just pulling my string around, and then I want to tie it in the back. So I'm kind of sliding it around like so. And then I'm going to tie it nice and tight in the back. So you can use twine, you can use yarn or whatever you're using for your bows. You can use zip ties even. So I use the twine because it just all goes together with my bow in the end. I went ahead and decided to put a little tail on the end of my heart. I just kind of thought it would be cute to have it look like it's kind of coming out of my bow. I don't know, you guys. Like I said, this sign kind of started taking a life of its own. And again, it really wasn't my favorite. But when my daughter said she really liked it, I just went for it. And I figured I had to show it. And you know what? It's okay, because I realized that something I don't particularly like, somebody else might like. So I'm not going to be so hard on myself. But this is the final piece. I really think it's cute, and it definitely works for a shabby chic summer. So this project is super easy. I found a bunch of these camera picture frames a while back, fell in love with them. I had to have them, and I've seen a lot of different crafters use these and transform them into just really beautiful pieces. So I know that I've seen quite a few people decoupage these and make them super feminine and super pretty. And I apologize right now because I cannot for the life of me remember who all I've seen done this. So if you've done this before and I'm not giving you credit right now, please forgive me, because I just, I'm serious, I can't remember who it was. But just know this, I was super inspired and I absolutely love this idea. So Basically, as you can tell, I just did 2 coats of my plaster paint on there, and then I'm going to put my Mod Podge on once my paint is dry and lay down this piece of tissue paper. I do trim it all up and add another coat of the Mod Podge to this once it's all done. And once that is completely dried, then I do my most favorite part when I Mod Podge, and the most satisfying, and that is taking the sanding block to the edges. I love how clean this makes my lines and the edges look. It literally just like melts off of this sign, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird like that, y'all, but I just find that so relaxing. I just love doing that. The other relaxing thing is vacuuming up my workstation. Oh, I love that little ladybug. Oh my goodness. That is linked down below as well. So yeah, so of course, there I go, distressing it. Now, I will say this, I didn't go crazy heavy on this one. I did it a lot lighter than I'm used to. But I wanted all of my pieces to, again, be pretty cohesive with each other. So once that was done, I took a jumbo Sola flower and glued it right in the middle. And again, this is from those Sola wood flowers that I purchased. I got minis and then I got the large ones, and I love them all. I'm finishing the project with just a strip of that lace ribbon because I said my camera needs a camera strap. And so that's what I did, is basically glued it to the back ends of my camera, and that's all she wrote, guys. This was my final project, and I thought it was adorable. I am so excited for this. I feel like I'm going to do a bunch more because my daughter thought this was super cool. So, and she digs photography, so we'll have to see. Tell me what y'all think about this one down below. Okay guys, I absolutely love finishing off my videos with a super simple project, and this one was just that. I had one of these really, these are kind of large glass jars from Dollar Tree, and I got it because of the texture. I love buying any kind of glass that has the texture. And basically what I'm just going to do is give this 2 coats of that paint that I discussed earlier, which was called the, what was it? Vintage Tea Rose. And y'all, this color is just, it's phenomenal. I don't know if the video can give it justice, honestly. I just look at it in person and think this is just a gorgeous color. And for those that know me, know that I'm not big on pinks and real girly stuff, which I think is kind of funny, but this pink is just phenomenal to me. So maybe it's because it looks old and worn and it's actually called Vintage Tea Rose. That's probably why I love it so much. But once it's all completely covered and I don't see a whole lot of the glass kind of coming through, I am going to go ahead and take some my plaster paint, and I'm going to kind of do my distressing with that color instead. Now, I do have some of these half beads that I got from Amazon, and I decided to paint them white and use those as feet for my jar, just to have it, you know, lift it up just a little bit. So still using that same Waverly Plaster color, I'm just going to basically dry brush it on over all of the texture parts of my jar. Basically doing the same thing that I would do if I was distressing it with my antique wax, but in this case I'm just going to use my Waverly plaster paint and kind of do like an opposite effect. So I loved how this turned out once it was all completely painted and distressed. And of course, you know, it wouldn't be me if I don't have to be a little extra and add some more to it. So still using that really pretty off-white ribbon, I really just decided to tie it around the top just like so, and I do kind of glue it down just a little bit to hold that. And then I'm just going to take some pieces of that Dusty Rose lace and just, I think I just took like 3 squares of this, kind of just off-centered them off of each other and glued them to my jar as well, and finished it off with one of those really super pretty paper flowers that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. So this was the final piece, you guys. I thought she was so precious. Oh my goodness, I loved how this turned out. I feel like all in all, it was a great way to end the video with all of my pieces together. I think they were beautiful. They definitely have that summery, shabby chic vibe for me that I would definitely decorate my home in and will be decorating my home in. And it's a very nice transition out of spring. So you guys will have to tell me what you think about all of these. I cannot wait to share some new stuff coming up with you here very soon. But until next time, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. And until next time, stay safe.